My name is Carlos Menendez. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at dLocal, and I'm responsible for the operations, treasury, and risk of the company. Challenges here in the Middle East are very similar to the challenges in many other markets. It's really about how one becomes local and serves global customers. So it's really emphasizing collaboration with local regulators, local partnerships, and assuring that the right global merchants appeal to the local consumers. We operate in over 40 countries, and we were built serving the global south for large global merchants to be able to sell their wares around the world. We effectively figure out not just what networks are available, what card networks are available, but what the local payment methods are, which the majority of the country really holds, and how we get that connected to the various merchants' e-commerce sites so they can buy what they want. We accept, the large networks too, but we immediately come in and see, like in Saudi Arabia and the other options, and see what other ways people pay. We have over 700 different integrations around the world and are constantly adding new ones based on changing consumer and regulatory behaviors. One of the challenges of cross-border payments, and actually part of the Saudi vision for 2030, is transparency, is understanding of the cost and the time to move money across borders. Certainly, most of the merchants are familiar with the 1 to 3 to 4 days that SWIFT can take around the world. What Fireblocks and stablecoins do is they provide quick transfers around the world to get merchants money in and out of countries much quicker. And so we partner with Fireblocks and other companies like the Circle Network to facilitate that on-off ramp in local currencies and move the money to the merchants. Faster payments is more liquidity. If you run a business, whether large or small, you're managing your cash flow. Getting paid faster for the goods you've sold, in fact, limit your credit needs, allow you to better manage your balance sheet, and effectively make for a more efficient operation. So, and merchants are very interested in following up with stablecoin opportunities. What dLocal does is the same everywhere to a certain extent. And we've built this extremely powerful global platform and API where once a merchant connects with us in one market, effectively all other markets become available. So by maintaining the core of the network the same, we can serve everyone through one door. And we also need the local expertise. So what we do is that we hire local teams, local regulatory experts, local compliance experts, local payments experts to assure the nuances of a particular market are adapted and served through that API interface. So when a merchant comes to us, it's one contract, they sign on to the global API, and then they roll out markets as they want. So we serve merchants all over the world, from Asia to North America to Europe to the Middle East. The critical part of our offering is that we are in these markets where the core merchants are located. So if you're in China, we're serving you from a Chinese team. If you're in Europe, we're serving you from a Europe team, etc. And really, it's about being close to the customer, understanding their needs, understanding their culture, and how they want to be communicated with. And then we adapt to them so that they can focus on their core business. Payments are really after the main transaction, and that's really the value we bring to them, that we solve complicated problems and make their life more easy so they can sell more. As I've mentioned, we clearly need to keep adding integrations and local payment methods as we expand into markets or as new payment methods become available. So a lot of our technological focus is on how do we serve customers in a market. There's a second element about what the future will bring, and there are proven use cases in the card networks in terms of tokenization, buy now, pay later, other sorts of protections, which card network users take for granted, but are not necessarily available to a broad population that may not have an international card. So we spend a lot of time building buy now, pay later platforms, tokenization platforms that we can bring to local payment methods and bring that functionality to the rest of a market. When you think of a market like Egypt, for example, where only single digits have international cards, the closeness of our relationship with someone like Fowry is really what enables us to sell well and operate well in that market. So from a tech perspective, we are, going deeper on our offering, but also building the future that our merchants and end consumers are asking for. I think the short answer as to what on our roadmap is everything. We basically answer the questions that our merchants ask. If they would like to go into stablecoin, we have that. If they want to use AI for fraud protection, for better customer service, we have that available too. And if there's a new geography they want to open, all they have to do is ask. We really think about serving our mission of broadening the customer base for the Global South, for large global merchants, and we do it on their terms. That's our offering. We will meet your needs in any market. You see a lot of the stable coins and the fintechs offering instant payments, and I was impressed. I'm old enough to remember when that was new, to see how widely it spread. That's great. But what really is interesting to me is that payment behavior at the end is generational. And so the older generations pay in a certain way, cash, et cetera, credit, debit, you go through, mobile money, and who knows what the new generation will bring, but I always see that desire for more information in the transaction, quicker access to your money, and really a desire to explore new things. It's a very different world. I'm glad to be part of it and building it along with our customers.